the brain is too big for the skull, or to put it better, the skull is too small for the brain. And you see it in certain toy breeds of dogs that have usually quite attractive facial features. So they have a domed forehead, quite liquid, large. They're often described as large, although they're exactly the same size eyes as every other dog. It's just more of them. They're usually close together. The nose is quite central between the eyes. They look more like a baby, basically. And they are breeds like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, the King Charles Spaniel, the Griffon Bruxellois, Affenpinscher, Papillon, and Chihuahua are the main ones. Pug, French Bulldog also can get, but not
Mm.
quite as much. So their brain is
They're
basically
highly fashionable dogs, aren't they?
highly
Particularly,
fashionable dogs. When you look at something like the Chihuahua, for example, which is a popular dog, you have two types of head of Chihuahuas, which people are not usually aware of. There is a so-called apple-headed Chihuahua, looks like an apple, and the deer-headed Chihuahua looks like a deer. So the deer-headed Chihuahua has a slightly longer nose, a slightly longer head, so proportionally the head is longer versus the width, whereas
Mm,
an apple-headed dog is broad and flatter.
mm,
And the deer-headed Chihuahua is the traditional Chihuahua. If you look at pictures of Chihuahuas 50 years ago, that's what Chihuahuas look like. And if you look at old paintings of Chihuahuas from Mexico, Chihuahua, they had that deer head. But of course, that people have bred them to be smaller. They so teacup Chihuahuas and to
mm,
have
mhm,
progressively flatter and tinier muzzles. In the dogs that are affected by it, it's particularly noticeable in dogs that have a very sharp stop. The stop is the angle between the forehead of the dog and the nasal bone. And if you look at regular your regular bog standard domestic dog, so street dog in India, I always think they slope. They don't have a sharp angle, but once you get to a right angle, or even worse than that, that the stop actually is indented, that you can put your finger in between their eyes into an indent, that really risks the problem. But people like the apple-headed Chihuahuas. You can't actually find many deer-headed Chihuahuas. And when people who want to buy a Chihuahua go out to buy a Chihuahua, if you said, "Here's a deer-headed Chihuahua and here's an apple Chihuahua, which one would you like?" The member of the general public, I can almost guarantee it, would say, "Oh, the apple-headed one, please. That's the cutest."